Every night at exactly 9:17, a phone lit up on the bedside table. It didn't ring. It didn't vibrate. It only glowed quietly, as if afraid to disturb the room. The screen always showed the same thing. One saved voicemail. Emma Cole was 42 years old. She lived alone in a small apartment above a bakery on the corner of Maple Street. Every morning before sunrise, the smell of fresh bread drifted through her open window. For most people, it would have felt warm and comforting. For Emma, it was simply another signal that the day had begun. She woke early, even on weekends. She brushed her hair, tied it neatly back, and wore simple clothes in calm colors. She liked things that didn't ask questions. Emma worked as a receptionist at a private clinic. She answered phones, smiled at patients, and wrote appointments in careful, neat handwriting. People often said, "You're so calm." Emma always nodded. She never corrected them. Years ago, her life had been loud. Mark had been loud. Her husband filled every space without trying. He talked while brushing his teeth. He talked while cooking. He talked during movies and laughed before the joke even finished. "You think too much," he used to say with a smile. "Let me do the noise." Silence never lasted long when he was around. The night he died, he called her from his car. "I'll be late," he said. His voice sounded tired but warm. "Don't wait up." She told him to drive carefully. That was the last real conversation they ever had. The voicemail arrived minutes later. Mark must have recorded it by accident. The sound of the car hummed faintly in the background. His voice was softer than usual. "Hey, Em, if you're listening to this, I probably messed up again," he said with a small laugh. "I'll explain when I get home." There was a pause. "I love you." Emma listened to it for the first time while sitting on the kitchen floor. She didn't cry at first. She simply held the phone, as if it might explain what had happened. At the hospital, people spoke gently. They used words like accident, instant, and there was nothing we could do. None of it felt real. The voicemail felt real. For weeks, Emma listened to it constantly, while cooking, while showering, while lying awake at night. Mark's voice became part of her routine. Then months passed. The listening slowed. Once a day, then only at night. Eventually, it became sacred. Every night at 9:17. She never deleted it. Deleting it felt like erasing proof that Mark had existed. Proof that he had loved her. Proof that she had once been someone different. She didn't remarry. She didn't date. When people asked, she smiled and said, "I'm used to being alone." But alone wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was being remembered by a voice that could never answer back. One winter morning, Emma noticed a missed call from an unknown number, then another the next day, and another. She ignored them. Life had taught her that unanswered calls were often safer than answered ones. The following Monday, a young woman appeared at the clinic desk. She looked nervous, twisting the strap of her bag in her hands. "Are you Emma Cole?" she asked. Emma nodded. "My name is Sarah," the woman said softly. "I'm sorry to bother you. I didn't know how else to find you." Something tightened in Emma's chest. "What is this about?" she asked gently. Sarah swallowed. "It's about Mark." The world went quiet. They sat together in a small waiting room. Sarah spoke slowly, as if each word required courage. "I was in the car accident that night," she said, "the one that killed him." Emma felt her ears ring. "I survived," Sarah continued. "I lost my phone in the crash, When I got it back months later, there was a voicemail saved on it. Emma looked up sharply. That voicemail was mine, Sarah said, tears filling her eyes. I didn't understand why it was there. When I listened, his voice sounded kind, calm. I needed you to know that. Emma pressed her lips together. He was talking, Sarah added softly. He wasn't scared. For years, she had imagined his last moments. Fear, pain, silence. Now there was a voice instead. Thank you, she whispered. That night, Emma didn't play the voicemail. She simply stared at the phone. For the first time, she wondered what would happen if she let it go. Days passed. She began walking after work. Instead of going straight home, she noticed small things she had ignored for years. Traffic sounds, strangers laughing, sunlight warming her face. One evening, her phone buzzed with a new voicemail notification. Her heart stopped, but it wasn't Mark. It was her own voice, recorded accidentally while her phone rested in her pocket. She listened carefully. There were footsteps, breathing, then her voice, barely audible. I'm still here. Emma sat on the edge of her bed and cried. That night, at exactly 9:17, she opened Mark's voicemail one last time. She listened slowly, not because she was afraid to forget him, but because she was finally ready to remember him without pain. I love you too, she whispered. Then she deleted it. The screen went dark. The room stayed quiet. But Emma didn't feel empty. She felt present. The next morning, the smell from the bakery felt warmer. Light lingered longer across the floor. Emma tied her hair back and looked at herself in the mirror. She looked older, but she also looked alive. Some love stays forever, but it doesn't have to trap you.